Hello, everybody, and welcome into Bad for Baseball, the baddest baseball podcast on the internet. I'm your host, Nicholas Playalog, joined alongside by Adam Peddle. We are in the World Series right now, everybody. Things are looking really good for one squad, not so good for those New York Yankees. What the hell is going on with Aaron Judge? That is just a huge talking point right now because the best player in baseball is not playing like the best player in baseball right now. And the other best player on that team, Juan Soto, the other guy that's going to be hitting free agency, now it's looking like the team that they are up against might poach said guy in free agency. That is a real thing that we're going to dive into here, everybody. The LA Dodgers looking at Juan Soto. They already got Shohei Ohtani last offseason. Everyone's thinking to themselves, oh, well, this must mean that they're out on Juan Soto. Apparently not. So lots of stuff to break down in this one as well. Of course, the upcoming World Series games. Can the Yankees get back into this thing at all? Before we get into all that, Adam, how you feeling, dude?
As you could tell, actually, my throat's kind of messed up today, so it's going to be a little bit of a croaky one, ladies and gentlemen, but we're here. We're still talking about the LA Dodgers and the New York Yankees, and this article from John Heyman really kind of puzzled me this morning, and the article headline is called "Dodgers Will Enter Juan Soto Sweepstakes," and I immediately thought, no, this can't happen. This is actually going to be really bad for baseball. Make great for Dodger fans if that were to happen. But it also says they're going to enter the Juan Soto Sweepstakes thanks to Shohei Ohtani's contract. We all remember they're deferring $68 million per year. He's only getting paid $2 million per year, so that kind of helps them keep the luxury tax nice and low. They're only at about $250 million right now. You look over at the Yankees and the Mets, and it's like, okay, they got around that $300 million mark, if not more. And you're like, okay, well, if I'm the Dodgers, you added another $40 to $50 million contract, boom. There we go. And plus there's going to be some money coming off the books this year. Great. There's your replacement for Teoscar Hernandez and then some, and let's just get more stupid ridiculous.
Well, and it is stupid ridiculous, right? Like the fact that this is a real talking point right now.
Yeah.
Juan Soto being on the same team as Shohei Ohtani, being on the same team as Mookie Betts, being on the same team as Freddie Freeman, and so on and so forth. Like it is at a level of what are we doing here? It's almost like the Dodgers have this infinite money glitch or something like that. But to credit to their organization for doing such a good job with that Shohei Ohtani contract, because this would not be a talking point if they were paying $70 million a year to Shohei Ohtani every single season. And when we first saw that contract, all of us were thinking to ourselves, okay, well, this is them deciding that we are going to go all in for the next decade of time. For the amount of time that Shohei Ohtani is in a LA Dodgers uniform, swinging the bat, throwing the baseball, we're going to go all in. And I guess maybe it's our bad that we just didn't realize that going all in would mean something like this. Maybe.
Yeah, like I didn't think it would be in another major superstar that's going to command. Probably at this point, it's looking like at least $600 million. Can you imagine if they also would structure that contract that they got Soto, the way to defer everything and do another $2 million per year thing?
I mean, then it gets maybe you do. Maybe that's just you just decide to do that if you're the LA Dodgers. If they just decide, it's like, okay, we're gonna get all of these superstars, pay them $1 million or $2 million a year, deal with it later, and win 8 World Series.
The next 10 years after, it'll be like, we're in trouble.
We're just going to get every single ring that we can, and then we'll pay. I mean, at that point, well, fuck it. You guys are the greatest. You're the greatest dynasty of all time ever.
Everyone will remember this time. Everybody's going to remember this time. Yeah, if that did happen, I would feel for those Dodger fans. Actually, no, I wouldn't.
No, are you kidding me?
I would say suffer, and lose all the games possible. They'd just be a rookie team.
After
it'd be a AAA team,
after it's all said and done, eventually you're gonna have to pay the piper for all this stuff, right? Yes, the Ohtani deal looks incredible right now. In 10 years from now, when you got $68 million going to legitimately no one, that is going to be a problem for these LA Dodgers if they have several rings, which is looking like they might get one this year.
Dude.
I mean, you're okay with that if you're the LA Dodgers. This whole Juan Soto thing, though, I guess I find it ridiculous that other MLB teams would allow this to happen. You know, like if you are the New York Yankees, can you imagine? Let's assume that they lose this World Series, right?
Yeah.
You're down 2 games right now.
They get swept.
God, you know that would. I don't think they're gonna get swept. I think it's gonna be a little bit closer. Things aren't looking good with Aaron Judge and other guys, but like we'll get into that momentarily. But if you lose to the LA Dodgers in the World Series, and then you let your star guy walk over to LA,
he's like that's a pretty good place to be.
You can't let that happen. If you just can't. You cannot allow that to take place.
You're part of the reason why you just created the super team. You got to. I mean, as much as I say, like it's crazy to think that New York getting like a top talent like Juan Soto is like sharing the talent a little bit, but yeah, you're not sharing the talent if you're letting LA take every single player. And the Mets, they gotta go out crazy. Like they still gotta fight Steve Cohen here too.
Yes.
Right. So the Dodgers, it's like they've got definitely $15 million to play with right here, but you're still gonna fight Cohen.
Well, and that's the thing, you know, like you're always gonna run into Steve Cohen, you're gonna run into the Yankees, but the fact that they are even reportedly in on this stuff. Like I hadn't even really considered that. You know, I knew that they were going to go out and they were probably going to look at Teoscar Hernandez again, and you know, maybe they really want to spend. They'll go to Anthony Santander. But I think everybody just assumed that there's no way that you can get another, you know, over $500 million superstar on that team. But with the way that they've handled their contracts, they are in. Yeah. And this is now, like, if you are Juan Soto and they are calling you about, you know, a $600 million check, like, fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, this team just beat me in the World Series, man. Like, let me join them.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think he's going to go to the highest suitor, the highest bidder, because that's kind of we were reporting on last week.
What's been reported on.
But if it's a $5 million more, and I got to relocate to LA, LA's a great place to play baseball. Yeah. Not saying that the Yankees aren't a historic franchise, but so are the Dodgers. It's the best place to play in the world right now, especially if I do want to consider winning. This is me adding to this super team. Are you kidding me?
Well, and
it's going to be fun baseball for 10 years.
There's really, I mean, there is only probably one other, one team better than the Yankees in terms of longevity with winning, and it would be the LA Dodgers with what they currently have in that organization. Now, I will say that this is also, I think, or I guess this is because of, or part of the reason why is the Shohei Ohtani effect just in general. Like these Dodgers right now, something that we haven't even really talked about here is the fact that they are getting, Super Bowl level ratings, probably even higher than that right now, with every single playoff game that they play in Japan, across the world, with Shohei Ohtani on that ball club. Like the amount of money that they are making right now, just because of that man alone. Obviously, you are going to have to pay him eventually, but the amount of merchandise, the amount of money that's coming in because of Shohei Ohtani, because of Yoshinobu Yamamoto as well. Yeah. Let's not forget, they signed that guy to $300 million.
We'll talk about that guy, too. That guy had a phenomenal game, too.
He did. He's really, really turning it on right now. Those Japanese stars are carrying right now for these LA Dodgers. But the amount of money that they're bringing in because of the star power that they have on their team, you can go out and you can sign Juan Soto. Like, it's crazy.
Especially if you're going to the World Series every effing year and you're getting a lot of TV revenue share splits. Like, you're laughing right now if you are the LA Dodgers. And, I think they should. And again, I wanted to bring this up and ask you. I know we're kind of saying, no, this can't happen. Like, again, thinking from an outside perspective, is this good for baseball? Is this bad for baseball if Soto does go to the Dodgers?
I mean, okay, is this good or bad? It's tough. Like, part of it is good in the sense that, like, you would be looking at just such an overwhelmingly stacked team, line. Like, it would be exciting. If I was
cool to watch.
Exactly. Like, if I was an outside person, not necessarily like a diehard baseball fan, I would start to kind of take notice of the LA Dodgers. Like, I'm like,
watch them.
Yeah, I'd be like,
it's good for baseball. We need that.
Yeah, exactly. Which is good for baseball, right? And you got to imagine, like, that's. That would help grow the game. But I think that we're already there. Like, I think that you're already at that level of such a super team that you are going to get people tuning in. I was talking to my dad the other day, actually, and he was saying, I haven't really, like, he pays attention to baseball just because he follows us and whatnot. And
shout out Greg.
Yeah, shout out to him. But, he doesn't really sit down and watch the games by himself or anything like that. And he was like, damn, I haven't really paid attention to, like, a World Series in a long time, but, like, I think I'm going to, like, at least, like, be checking in on the highlights, or, like, looking. Yeah, exactly. Like, look it up afterwards type thing, right? And that's somebody that, like, would never do that. But because it is Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge and all these stars, like, he's like, I'm semi-interested right now.
Well, they
and
do
he's
have the
not
highest.
only one.
They do have the highest ratings in decades right
Yes.
now. So, and I think it's rightfully so. You
Yeah.
have those two superstar juggernaut powers going at each other, and in a sense for growing the game of baseball, I think it's great. But it's bad for every other baseball fan.
Yeah.
If you're a diehard fan of any other team, that is bad for you because you might not get that nice TV revenue split that you want and help your franchise out. And, and you're not going to watch the team go on a big run. So like, it's great for general baseball fans, not great for the diehard fans of individual teams.
Yeah, and I also think it's kind of disheartening too in the sense of like, for any other GM, how do we compete with this? Like
you can't.
How do you stop these guys from going over there? They're going to have more money than you.
Yeah.
They have more appeal in general because they're a winning franchise in a great city with a great fan base, the biggest popularity ever. How do you compete if you are the, I don't know, Kansas City Royals or any other organization?
Start signing Japanese players.
Maybe that's the play. Maybe that just
Seriously.
fire off some darts,
Seriously, right?
But you can't. Because they're going to go to the fucking Dodgers,
right? But that's where you save your money for. Like this is the best investment ever. We got to find the next superstar talent coming out of Japan so we can get all that TV revenue. And then it's like, okay, now we can actually afford and grow and afford players and grow our team.
Maybe I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know how you compete with the LA Dodgers from a on the field perspective, but then also too in the offseason perspective with everything that they have going for them. Because I'll be honest, guys. If I was Juan Soto, if I was a player, I'd want them to call my name. I'd want my agent to hear from them. I'd be listening in on those offers more than others.
Yeah, it's like lesser extended basketball where all these superstars love to go on join one team and and run it with a super team.
It's 100% like that.
That's what's happening. That never used to happen in baseball. Now it's happening.
That's the thing.
Everyone's
because with basketball, it's a lot easier to get 5 guys together. Right? And say, okay, we only need to get like 5. We don't even need 5 guys. We need like 3.
We get
guys.
Like 3 dudes,
like elite players. Like, okay, now we got a super team. And with baseball, you're always thinking to yourself, okay, well, fuck, we need like 26 different players or whatever it is. Like,
they're almost there.
That's
they're
what I mean. Though,
there.
like the Dodgers have done such an incredible. And this thing, I hate them that they've done this, but you also got to respect it. Because it is really, really impressive, But like they're doing it right now, and like you're so far along the process that if I'm Juan Soto, it's like, all right, let me join in the fun.
Why not? If they're paying me, then I should probably go and check them out and be a Dodger for the rest of my career. But that's what's going on with Juan Soto, guys. You let us know in the chat. What do you think about that? Do you want Juan Soto to go to the Dodgers? If I'm a Dodgers fan, hell yeah, of course. Why would I ever say no to that? But he's got some business to do first, and he's got to try to find a way to carry his effing team to a series win, and just a game win.
Yeah,
they need to win a single game.
Let's start
with
one.
Let's get one win. They're down 2-0 right now in this series. They are in LA. The LA Dodgers swept that little 2-game series in LA. Now tonight, as this podcast is being recorded, they are going to start. I guess a little 3-game stretch in New York. But let's talk about those first 2 games. Big standout note on the New York Yankees is Aaron Judge, man.
This is a problem.
It is an absolute problem right now. Aaron Judge does not look good. We were live for that first game. Didn't look good. He had a very big moment in game 2. Already struck out twice in that one. Just struck out on a terrible slider by trying to slider curveball. I actually don't know. Big break and bender ball in the other batter's box, and he swings and misses. He's got 6 strikeouts, and he's 1 for 9 in the World Series in the middle of that lineup. What's the problem here, Nick? Why is this happening? And what should the Yankees do about it to make an adjustment?
Okay, well, on the surface, the problem is that the best player in baseball or the best hitter in baseball potentially is batting 150 with an OPS of 605. In the playoffs. That's on the surface level. It really is just as simple. You need production from your guy that brought you to this place because he was a massive reason why you're here in the first place. And the second that the calendar ticked over to October, he's gone ghost mode and he's not here. So on the surface level, that's the big problem. Now I have seen some breakdown videos discussing why this has happened.
Yeah.
And apparently it's all got to do with like the pathway to the baseball and like he's, like it just changed.
Yeah.
He changed everything.
And because of that, he's late on the fastball,
Yes.
and he's early on the breaking ball, and
Right.
he's in between. And what's happening is he's getting down early. Pitchers know this. Well, I'm going to get ahead early, get down 0-2, and he is going to feel forced to chase a lot of breaking balls. He's chased a shitload of breaking balls in the postseason, and it's all not going right. And you can't fix that in 1 week.
Well, here's the thing, though. Like, for me, and I know that there's mechanical issues, right? Obviously, like, there's all mechanical stuff, and, he's, late here, early here, whatever, missing. But I think it can be boiled down to a mental thing, because this
Also
is,
that too, yeah.
like, on September, 15th, you weren't doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And then on October 1st, you were, right?
Mm-hmm.
The second that the playoffs became a thing, this immediately started happening to you. You were incredible in the regular season.
know.
And then the second that these lights got this bright, immediately, your swing just fucking changed?
Yeah,
Why?
Yeah,
I think it's got to do with a stress level type thing, in the sense of that he feels he needs to be the guy so much. He got to be the captain of the New York Yankees.
I know.
And it's putting him in this spot where he's behind.
And unfortunately, I know Juan Soto's been having a great postseason, great series so far. Hit a homer in game 2. That's big reason.
He's doing everything
He's doing everything he can right now. But yeah, like, if Aaron Judge isn't Aaron Judging, you do not have a chance in this series. Judge said here, he had a quote after game 2. He said, "It definitely eats at you. You want to contribute and help the team, but that's why you got to keep working and keep swinging. I can't sit here and feel bad for myself. Nobody's feeling bad for me." I mean, you're right. I mean, you got to keep working, but you have to work faster. Like, there's
no time.
There's no time to work on this. You got to win game 3. You got to win game 4. You got to get back in this series. And also, Stan had this quote. I don't know where. I think he's just supporting his teammate, but I just got to disagree wholeheartedly. He said, "I think the overall numbers don't say how good of at-bats he had. Obviously, you see the overall numbers. He's had some good at-bats, and he haven't showed for it." I can just disagree so much, because he's getting down early. He's getting down so early in at-bats. He's not attacking the fastballs when he is getting them. He's getting a shitload of breaking balls, but he is not laying off the breaking balls, obviously because he's down 0-2, but he's got to attack the fastball early, because if he doesn't do that, you're going to get a shitload of breaking balls, and pitchers know with confidence you are going to be chasing that, and it's easy. He's an easy out right now.
Well, and I think that is just Stanton, trying to support his
Absolutely.
teammate, and honestly, like, what else do you say? It's
He's
not
ass.
It's like you're not gonna do that, right? Like, it's this guy fucking sucks.
Yeah, like, come on, we're gonna
I
lose.
should be batting third. Yeah, of
Which
course.
he honestly might need to start batting third.
Well, like we can get into the whole topics about do we move Aaron Judge down the lineup? I mean, blasphemous to say, but the way that he's swinging the bat, you might. I do really think, though, that this all comes from up here, because we know that Aaron Judge can swing the baseball bat better than anybody in the sport. That's just a real thing. And all of a sudden, you got the yips.
Yeah.
It starts here, though, right? He's got to find a way to, and this is the hard part, because now you're down. Right, so you feel like you got to press. You're down 2 games in the World Series. This is the moment where I need to come up clutch. You got to simmer down. You got to trust your teammates. It's wild to say, but you need to trust Gleyber Torres and trust Jazz Chisholm Jr. because that's the only
guys
way
behind him, like Stanton.
Sure, but what I'm saying is that you got to trust that you don't need to be the guy to do everything right now. Because I feel like that's where this is coming from.
Right.
That he feels like he need every single swing. It's like, I got to go yard if we have a chance here.
Which is why I think actually they should drop him down in the order. Like
maybe
because guess who's getting on base every single time in front of him? It's Juan Soto.
That's true.
So now he's like, no, I got to be the guy to step up. Like if you, this might sound, I don't know how far you drop him down, but if you bump up like Stanton and Jazz is doing really good, you drop him down to the 5th spot. Like I'm just saying, like maybe that does something for him just mentally. Like what else can you do as a manager? You can't fix his swing for him.
That's the thing, and it's not like you're going to bench fucking Aaron
Judge.
Bench him in
so
the World Series.
So like you gotta just play the numbers right now. And it's like, okay, we're gonna drop you down, relieve some pressure, and bring up guys who are actually swinging it.
Yeah, if you can, I think that if you can frame it in a positive way, where it does feel like it's a relieving pressure type thing.
That's what
it's just like it's really tough though in the World Series because like we all know like. This isn't just a standard July game. Yeah. It's like this really does fucking matter.
Exactly.
And we need to win and we do need you to do it. So it's like, yes, there is an element of like, oh, like whatever, we'll drop you down. But we all know that this is important.
No, exactly. You have really no time to waste.
You don't,
right? So, yeah, like if this was, it sounds crazy to say because it's like, oh, well, he got you here batting third for your lineup, right? It's like, well, okay, but it's been, shorter sample size, but a month of baseball, and he's having a terrible month.
That's the thing, right? It's
terrible
like,
month.
It's not even that short of a sample size anymore. Like in terms of like, it is effectively an entire month,
like
right?
It's 11 games because it's like, they take a lot of time.
Split up,
off,
yeah.
But like effectively, terrible 2 weeks.
Terrible 2 weeks. Yeah,
right?
This is going to go down as one of the worst. I'd have to look at the numbers here, but like I'm sure one of the worst months on Aaron Judge's Baseball Reference.
Probably.
Ever, you know, like how often does Aaron Judge bat 150?
Yeah, 150.
In the course of all of October, like
brutal.
that does not happen, right?
Yeah.
So this is a big problem for the New York Yankees, and the sad thing is you just don't have time to fix it. Judge, I mean, it feels counterintuitive, but you got to take some of the pressure off yourself, and try to just go back to the fucking basics here, man.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to say in the World Series, but like. I don't know what else you can do.
See, it's just tough. Like when you start getting into that like habit, that rhythm of like your swings getting a lot more longer, that's like you really got to work in the cages and you've really got to get it back on track. I don't know why or how it got there, but it did.
They play at 8 tonight. So
yeah,
you got about 12 hours before you got to get going. So get in the cages, Aaron, because you cannot drop down 3 games.
So if he doesnn't get cooking and when they're in New York, like it's got to be over because you have Juan Soto doing him.
Well, if you don't win tonight, it is over.
It's over,
right? Like not statistically, but I'd have to look at the numbers here. But typically, and just across sports in general, if you go down 3 games in a 7-game series, like I think it works out to be like 1%, even less than that. Like you're done.
So this is a must win right now. We'll break down the game a little bit later but we'll get into some other things. But yeah, like this is a big one.
You need
tonight.
to show up tonight.
It
is effectively over, right? Like,
it's over.
Yeah, I find it hard to believe that they're gonna like go on a magical 4-game win streak after losing 3 straight. Like it's just probably not
the way they're playing.
Not the way that they're playing. Not the way that he's playing right now. So yeah, you need to show up in 12 hours. Time, everybody. Let us know in comments down below. What do you think about this Aaron Judge situation? What should they do with him? Why is this happening? On the flip side of things, Juan Soto is playing pretty good. Stanton is still playing pretty good baseball. Jazz Chisholm Jr. is still playing pretty good baseball right now.
Yeah.
Do the Yankees have any chance to come back in this? I know it's obviously very easy for us to say that, of course, the Dodgers are going to win this thing, knowing that they are up 2 games.
Right.
But walk me through how the Yankees are going to do this.
Yeah, I mean, they're back in New York. They got home field advantage. They're down 2-0, yes, but they had a day off to really recalibrate. Like, and honestly, like just to jump off that whole Judge conversation, like Judge he doesn't need to be like superstar Judge. Just be good.
But a strikeout every at bat.
A strikeout every at bat is not going to work, right? You need to put the ball in play. You need to get a single here and there. You need to do something to contribute. Like their lineup does need to get cooking. Like I'm looking at just in these 2-game stretch, the only guys that were really doing anything was Giancarlo Stanton. Rizzo had a couple. He's been on base a lot. That's really good. And then it's Juan Soto. You got Jazz. Like you need a lot more though. It's very lackluster. So what they need to do is the same game plan as we always said. Cool down the Dodgers lineup early. You got to have your starting pitchers do well. Rodon got beat up. He got beat up in game 2, right? Whereas on the other flip side of things, Garrett Cole had a phenomenal game, and they couldn't lock that one down.
They had to
win that one, and that was a very winnable game.
Yeah, they had it.
It was they had the win in the bag.
Legitimately, that was for those of you who don't remember, didn't see it, right? Like this was a game where for the longest period of time it was like 2-1. It was 2-1 Yankees over the Dodgers, right? And Garrett Cole had an incredible start. I think only 1 earned run in 6 innings out there, like fucking great. We were talking about how we weren't sure how was he going to do. He showed up, and then in extra innings, tied 2-2, Yankees come up and give yourself the winning run. It's 3-2 now. They score a run, you do your job. And then the bullpen blows up. Nestor Cortes blows up, and Freddie Freeman goes yard for the grand slam. And then it's history, 6-3 Dodgers Yankees. But the score, the final score doesn't do justice to how close that game was for
and
the entirety of it.
They out hit them. I think in that one too.
Honestly, that was one of those ones. If they go on to lose this series, you're gonna look back at that game and you're gonna go, Jesus Christ, guys! Like, how did we let that one slip away? You know?
Yeah. So they got to take care of business in New York, right? They got Schmidt, they got Luis Heel, and then I'm gonna guess it's gonna go Garrett Cole on the Wednesday.
Yeah.
They got to win 2 of 3, if not sweep. If not, 2 of 3 is even dangerous because now you're asking for a sweep going back over to LA.
Well, you are down bad. Like you're gonna be asking at this point. You know,
you got to ride the starters and you got to have the starters go deep. That's your key to victory. You got to have them go deep. You got to have them shut down the Dodgers because they're gonna have Buehler. They're gonna have a bullpen day, and then it's back to Flaherty. So they got to be able to get that rematch on Game 5 if they get there, beat Flaherty, and they got to take care of Game 3 and 4. That's the way to do it, and they're going to need to shut down the Dodgers because their lineup, I have the least confidence in. I have the most confidence in that pitching staff to do their job.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. And again, when you look at some of the scores here, like they lost 4-2, 4 runs for the LA Dodgers,
and they almost came back. They almost pulled an LA Dodgers.
They did almost pull it back, right? So these. Even though they're down 2-0, these have been tight ball games, right? And you think about it from a pitching staff standpoint, 6 runs in Game 1, that's too many, but 4 of those came off of the grand slam to end the game, right? You held them in 9 innings of baseball to 2 runs. How are you not winning that ball game? Right? The pitching is doing their stuff, and you look at Game 2. I mean, 4 runs for an LA Dodgers team. That's actually I take that.
Yeah.
I do take that.
Shut them down.
Yeah,
right after Rodon got blown up. So.
Exactly. I take that if I'm the New York Yankees. You think that gives you a chance to win, and you still cannot come up clutch. So, yeah, the lineup has got to start pulling their weight right now because I think the pitching staff is doing enough.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of the Yankees pitching staff, a lot of people were getting on Aaron Boone for putting in Nestor Cortes, who hadn't pitched in over a month.
Yeah.
And is coming out of the bullpen.
Yeah.
They had another guy in their bullpen that was also a lefty that they could have put in there.
Yeah.
But they decided to go with Nestor Cortes, and obviously the story's been told. Walk-off grand slam.
Yeah, that is definitely questionable for me. I wish I could speak a little bit more on all of the ongoings there because I'm not as familiar with the Yankees bullpen as I'd like to be. But I did see some of that stuff online, and if that's the case, what are we doing here? That feels just like a complete misfire from Aaron Boone to be doing something like that. This guy, Nestor Cortes is a starter, dude.
Yeah, I know. I don't really.
We're throwing him out in the 10th?
Yeah, I didn't really understand
with bases loaded.
I know.
Why?
It didn't make any sense. So what they were deciding was Tim Hill, the other lefty, to come in to face Freddie Freeman. But then there's also this other stat. Speaking of lefties, there was Freddie Freeman in his career against lefties with a base loaded. It makes no sense, but
that's a very cherry.
It's a very cherry pick stat, but he's batting .650.
Okay, well, I don't put too much weight on that because that is just a super cherry pick stat.
Yeah,
you probably had maybe
loaded.
2 at bats in your whole
barely
life.
Any. Because how often? Yeah, exactly.
So I don't put too much weight on that, but I do think that there's definitely needs to be some conversations about why the fuck is Nestor Cortes in the ball game with the bases loaded in the 10th when we have another guy. I fully understand if your bullpen's completely depleted. We fired all our bullets, but there is somebody else out there.
Yeah, you had Tim Hill, and then you could have fired him off, and then maybe have Cortes go into a bulk role later on.
Yes,
so you do have to have him pitch a lot of innings, but we're not there yet. We're here to win this inning.
That's the thing.
And move on.
If you got one or how many outs was there? Was it 2 outs already?
2 outs.
I'm trying to think. You were 1 or 2 outs away from finishing the game.
Yeah.
I
think it was 2 outs.
Yeah. I really.
Oh wait, no. Did they walk bets so they can get the double play? So they walk bets. Play. So there's 1 out.
1 out.
It was 1 out.
Yeah. Okay. So 1 out.
Yeah, I don't know.
We need a ground ball here, guys.
We need a ground ball.
So, then the game's over. Yeah, exactly. if you do that.
How often is Nestor Cortes coming in the bullpen needing just a ground ball?
Probably never in his career, actually. I maybe I'm talking to my ass right there, but probably never. So, questionable decisions by Aaron Boone right there. And it is very easy in hindsight to pick that apart, because had Nestor Cortes come in and got the ground ball, everyone would be like, oh, what, great, and then never talk about it ever again.
No, they say Yankees win 1-1. Great job.
Yeah,
Garrett Cole carried the team.
Exactly. Yeah, it's never a talking point. So obviously, it's very easy in hindsight. But, I mean, this is the type of shit that's going to be dissected and picked apart for months if they go on to lose this series, which right now things aren't looking good. Now, over there on the LA Dodgers standpoint, we'd be remiss to not at least bring up the fact that Shohei Ohtani shoulder injury. Did he dislocate it?
He dislocated his shoulder sliding into second base.
Woof.
And it was scary. Like he, Shohei Ohtani is a very calm individual. He was lying there on second base on his stomach, and like he calls time. Or I think he was waving over to the first base coach, and then like he does it again, and then he starts to like grimace, and then he rolls over. He was hiding all the pain, and then it eventually got too much, and then he like really was like feeling it and rolled over. Dodger Stadium went silent.
Oh my!
They went silent, and I'm smiling now because everything is okay with Shohei Ohtani. Dave Roberts did say if Ohtani feels good to go, I see no reason that he'll be in there. He was actually doing some hitting the other day in the cages. And for Ohtani, it was his right arm that had most of the pain, and he's using that as his like lead arm. I believe that was his left right arm exactly. Let me just check right here. I remember it could have been his left arm. Either way, like it's his lead, so it's probably his right arm. It's his lead arm, so that's a bit more harder when you are a batter to kind of lead into the baseball. As a lefty, you're using that to kind of drive the ball. So if he's okay, then that is really good.
Well,
if he's swinging.
I mean, my understanding of a dislocated shoulder is that it is one of the most painful fucking things in the world
horrible.
when it is happening. I've never had it happen to me before, thank God. It's one of the most painful things ever, but the second that you get it popped back into place, it's like, okay, you're effectively good to go now.
You're just sore. Okay, it's his left shoulder. That's okay. This is where I was reading. Because he's a left-handed hitter and it's his left shoulder, the strain is going to be worse if it was your right arm. That's what That's why it confused me. So it's going to be fine. Because you're not moving this too much.
Right.
Whereas this, you're pulling it across your body as a lefty. So that's a good sign. And actually, this happened to Bellinger a few years ago, and he dislocated his shoulder, and then he was back in.
In terms of injuries, like as far as like pain versus like long-term effect, this is like the most like polarizing, because again, like it is fucking painful. From what I've heard anyways, it is extremely painful. But once you get that thing pop back in and kind of take a moment, it's like, okay, you
can
should
move it.
be okay.
It's just sore.
Yes,
and
it is just going to be a little bit sore. But listen, you got potentially only 2 games left here.
You're pushing.
That's of course. We're gonna toss it. We're gonna give you a couple morphine pills, and you're just gonna go at it.
Yeah. Still no stolen base for Shohei Ohtani though. He tried. He got thrown out doing that. So.
I mean, bro tried his best and dislocated his shoulder. Yeah. So you know what? It's okay, buddy. It's all right.
You're
it's all right.
It's okay.
Yeah. Maybe if they tie it up, we could talk about that again.
Yeah.
But let's just worry about scoring some runs and hitting some home runs. Game 3 tonight. Dodgers at the Yankees. Who do you have for this one?
I am going to go Yankees in this one. You've got Walker Buehler rolling out to the mound tonight, and that spells danger. I don't like seeing Walker Buehler. You know that the Yankees are going to be hungry to attack early. You know they're going to take that off day and really evaluate what went wrong in the first 2 games. And again, like if I'm Aaron Boone, I'm not talking about your struggles, Aaron Judge. I'm talking about how you can attack on the first pitch. I'd expect Aaron Judge to be swinging early, because that's how they've been getting them. Fastball established, curveballs the rest of the way. We're ahead of the count. Heel swing and miss. Attack early, get on the heater, and be ready to hit it. Because and you got to recognize the game plan. It's a simple pattern. It's not that hard. I mean, yes, baseball is very hard, but like when you start to understand the pattern in which they're pitching you, it's very easy to beat. And so he's going to be on his game. I actually think Aaron Judge is going to go 2 for 4 today.
Okay, big game for Aaron Judge. Bounce back game. I mean, he needs it to silence
He needs to,
and also too just to pick up some goddamn wins right here. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the Yankees too. I just think that like. I mean, you look at the overall results here, and you see Dodgers up 2-0, and you're like, oh my God, they've been rolling over them. But like, we're talking about the difference between a couple plays in between these games. Like, this has been really good and hard fought baseball here. I know that they're down, the Yankees, but I think with that home field advantage, like they are going to be able to get a W here.
Dude, Yankees in total of the series have 14 hits, Dodgers 15. So there you
go. Like that's
we're
the thing.
A couple swings away.
Yeah, legitimately, like a couple key moments is the difference right here. So I'm sure that Yankee fans are feeling the stress, feeling the pressure. You are down right now, but you gotta win one. It's gotta start tonight. If they lose this one, My goodness
Oh, no.
gracious, dude.
It's over now.
That's
I can't
that's a tough watch.
Like you asked me the same question you asked me earlier. Like, what do they got to do to win? I go, they can't. They got to be perfect.
Yeah,
like at least here you've got a good matchup tonight, and this is your strength.
Yes,
you can go deeper with Schmidt. You can get to Buehler, and you can just lock it down the rest of the way.
Yeah,
you had an extra day of rest. You can use your bullpen guys. Get this W today.
That's the thing, and one game at a time, right? Build momentum with this one. I mean, I haven't even looked at game 4, the starters and everything like that. But honestly, I don't even think it matters. Tonight, get the momentum, and then you can walk into the following game and see if you can do something.
It's the bullpen versus Luis Hill, so
all right.
Bullpen day. We know Dodgers bullpen day is going to be very, very effective as it's been in the past. However. That's why it's even more important to get to Buehler today.
Well, you have to. Yeah.
Burn that entire bullpen because that's the key right there.
That's true, yeah.
You need to get to Walker Buehler early.
Yeah.
Get him out of the game.
He dips in the third.
Yeah.
Now they got to fill up 6 innings of players that potentially they're not using tomorrow.
Exactly.
Right? So
you have to.
Yeah. No, I think you're definitely onto something there. Guys, let us know in the comments down below. What do you think about this World Series? Juan Soto potentially going over to the LA Dodgers. Aaron Judge, what is happening there? Shohei Ohtani's injury. And who do you have this evening? Dodgers, Yankees. We want to know.
We want to know, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you're on our YouTube channel, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to Bat for Baseball for all your latest MLB news and content.
Yeah, thank you so much for watching, everybody, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Cheers.